The Nashville area housing market we know is red hot right now, and not just for home buyers and sellers.
News Channel 5 Investigates has found scam artists are also tapping into the market. Consumer investigator Jennifer Krause is here with more.
That's right, and it's the latest online real estate scam, and it's target folks who'd love to own their own house, but they can't afford to buy one. Then they're given the opportunity to rent to own a home with very little out of pocket and a relatively small monthly payment. The only problem? It's an opportunity that's just too good to be true.
We were looking for at least a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house.
Heather and Bill Teasley thought they'd finally be able to afford what they'd been looking for. A house like this. Heather says this was her dream home.
I fell in love with it. I'm like, I want this house. I want it so bad.
And the Teasleys were led to believe they could rent to own a home by the folks running this ad on Craigslist. We found placed dozens of similar ads in cities across Tennessee, as well as in cities in many of the surrounding states.
I want to shut these people down.
The people behind the ad, GS Rent-to-Own Assistants, told the Teasleys to go to the real estate website Zillow and find any house for sale they liked for under $150,000. Then all the Teasleys had to do was pay GS Rent-to-Own Assistants a $400 deposit, and they were told they'd then get the keys in a matter of days.
They were supposed to take care of the closing costs and everything.
And once they found this house, the Teasleys got this email signed by Sean Harris, manager at the company, informing them their monthly payment would be just $600. And incredibly, that included lights, gas, and water.
I asked him, I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yes, ma'am, we're sure."
But when they went to the house to get the keys, they waited nearly 3 hours, and no one ever showed up or ever again answered their calls.
I said, "We've been scammed."
And we found the same thing happened to a single mother here in Nashville who also paid $400.
He does that to 10 people, that's $4,000. 100 people, $40,000. I mean, he's making the money.
There's not a lot of information out there about GS Rent-to-Own Assistants, but we did find that late last year, their website was registered to an apartment in Texas. And their phones, they're internet-based. So even though they've used a number with a 615 area code, they could be anywhere.
That's a very common theme in all the scams that I've heard, is usually they're trying to collect money fast and upfront, often a wire, and then they disappear.
Cindy Stanton, president of the Greater Nashville Association of Realtors, says renting to own is a very complicated process that should take more than a simple online application. She warns watch out for rents that are way below market price and anyone who won't meet you at the property before you hand over any money.
I would never send any money to anyone without meeting them in person or a representative from their company in person at the property.
In the Teasleys' case, GS Rent-to-Own Assistants insisted they pay through the company's website ahead of any meetings. Ironically, the site has this warning for thieves that threatens to prosecute anyone who tries to defraud the company. The Teasleys now hope authorities will do the same thing to the people who run the site.
We just don't want anybody else to fall victim to these people.
Now, it's important to note that the Teasleys found this home on their own, and the people who were selling it at the time were in no way involved or aware of what was going on. We did reach out to the people who were involved, including the registered owner of the website. Now, we can't repeat on the air the exact language Gershom Stroud used, but essentially he told us we're not getting any information from him.
Is there anything else that people can do to protect themselves from these kinds of scams?
Yes, often all it takes are a few simple Google searches of the company's name, phone number, and the person you're dealing with to find all sorts of warnings. In this case, if you Google GS Rent-to-Own Assistants phone number, you'll find warnings posted by other victims of this scam.
Thanks, Jennifer. And there are other ways to get into a home when you don't have a lot of money. The Tennessee Housing Development Agency has a program where qualified first-time home buyers can get into a home with no money down. We've got more information on our website.